Oh, hello there. You've joined me recording quietly in my room by myself with no background audio or music, and it sounds very fucking weird. What I'm here to say today is I've been playing a little game, alright? And it's blown me away a little bit here and there. It's one of these things that's made by like a single dev. It's slow going, but there's a lot of love in here. There's a lot of passion, a little fire, if you know what I mean. This game is called No Time. It is basically Back to the Future, but you do you. You go and do what you want. There's a nice little campaign. I say little, I think it's about 12 hours. I think it says on the Steam page. And there's an Act 2 coming out, not in the not so far distant future. If we had a time machine now, we could go get it. Sorry. Anyway, it's Back to the Future, and you get your little DeLorean, cough cough, and you go about this place. I can't remember the name. You're on an island, and you go backwards and forwards in time, and even in different dimensions here and there, to sort of, well, help your friend out, essentially, in the campaign. You don't have to do this, though. One of the best things about this game, sandbox. You can just fuck off. You can just go do what you want, and that's great. I love that. You can go and do whatever you want, go get ahead, and then come back and do the campaign from there. But apart from that, all the good things you can do in the game, there's a lot of nice little details. We'll start with the easy stuff. The inside of your car is everything pretty much in there is a usable interface. You've got hotkeys for them, but they're all pressable buttons. And for crying out loud, if you look up, you'll see the save load console right above you. And that's pretty cool. The only thing that ain't so cool is in the main menu, you can only load your last save, and then you go into your car and then load the save that you actually want. So maybe that could do with a little But we'll get back to that later. There's some cool stuff in the game. You can go fishing, you can go hunting, you can cook your own food. There's crafting, portable crafting. You can modify your car as well. You can a little miniature spoiler, but there are flying cars in the future. Perhaps you can join them. You can mount your gun to the roof, or you can even take your guns and put them in a customization bench and modify them. You can tell this guy has a lot of inspiration from Fallout. There's a lot of that sort of modification sort of in there. And even the PLC, the little, I don't know what you call it, like a PDA sort of notepad thing that you get, very much resembles a Pip-Boy. And there's even jokes about mounting it to your wrist and it being too heavy. So he's like, why the hell would I do that? And there's a few other references in the game. And there's funny bits in the game as well. It's got some good humor. There's some exploration. I'm pretty early days. I haven't explored it all. But I'm sort of here to give a shout out to this game, because it's just not too often that I play a game and I'm like, wow, alright, this deserves some notoriety, and you know, the future looks pretty good. Future, right? But yeah, essentially you can go and if you know what happens in a date in this game, you can go back and you can explore that and you can take advantage of it. So if you go back to a time when it's only $30 to buy gold and then go to the future and sell it for thousands, that's how you can make your millions. Or you can go and alter the timeline, help someone out, or change it for the worse. But you don't want to do too much, because some people might start taking notice, alright? And they might just about figure out where you are and come for you. A little bit of a wanted system in that respect. Other cool things as well is you don't have to do missions and stuff. You can go and do your own little side quests. You can be a bounty hunter. You can go and knock people out. Sometimes they knock themselves out. If you got a guy who throws bombs, he will throw it. It will land 500 meters away from everyone, but knock everyone out apart from you, and that's free money. So whatever, that's great. You can go and make pizzas. That's pretty fun. You can be a taxi driver, and that's what I've sort of found so far. There might be more, and I'm hoping in the future there will be a lot more, but you can sort of see the track he's going down, or they're going down, and it looks very cool. Even, like, one of the details that blew me away was, in the future there's like a skyway, fly along it. It obviously goes to like different areas, but they're not out yet. I'm assuming that's what's coming in Act 2. And it looks like there's like this little Asian diner floating up there. I'm like, oh, that's a cool little detail. I'm gonna fly up and see what it's all about. And it looks like you can actually, like, there's like these like hover docking bays, and sure enough, if you manage to wiggle your way into one and turn off your hover engine, it'll hold you there in a little hovering stance, and you can get out and go inside the restaurant and stuff. And I think that's a really cool detail, honestly. And I can't wait to see more little details like that. You can sort of tell this person likes this game. They play it a lot. putting a lot of passion into it. It's very cool. I very much also enjoy the idea that you've got your vehicle you go around in. You know, it's like your sort of your base of operations, your transport, and your tool, essentially. Been playing a lot of U-Boat. That sort of has that sort of feel. And, I don't know, I'm not usually one for, like, the time-skipping sort of thing. But, this game's pretty cool. More things about the car. Like, even... It's modular and stuff. It runs on, like, nuclear fuel to jump forwards and backwards in time, between dimensions, that sort of thing. I thought one thing was pretty cool is the storage system. Apart from the fact that your personal storage system feels a bit slow and clunky, you have to wait for the animation to finish before you can like select the next thing, which is kind of a bit of a pet peeve. But it's got a boot, like a trunk, if you're from the Americas. And you can put all your stuff in there, and for some reason unknown to even God, alright, you close that boot, and you jump off, if you drive off a cliff, and you survive, and you open that boot back up, all your stuff is still in there. It's great. I don't know how he does it. It's very cool. I have a feeling something to do with, like, it makes it part of the car while the trunk is closed. Give it a second to settle, then it becomes part of the object so it doesn't get lost. Just make sure that, don't fly with your doors open or anything. It won't stay in. It won't stay in that way. But yeah, I like the idea of this game very much, and it would be cool to see where it goes. Early access, but honestly, it's only about £8. So go give it a little check out. That's pretty, like, what, $12, I think? It's worth your time, and if you don't like it, I guess you can refund it, but it's a petty amount. What are you doing? Refunding £8 for geniusness? I think not. But final section, sort of, I kind of wanted to go through a couple of improvements. I'm pretty sure the dev would know these. It seems like he's got his head screwed on, but it is quite a jank game, bear in mind, early access and all. Obviously going for loads of content in there, it's not been like totally cleaned up at this point. For instance, like the public transport is a bit juddery. If you stand too close to the engine of the transport, it'll start like rubber banding across the landscape. And one time I was in the mag train and managed to get out of it without like pressing the exit or something like that, because when you go into a vehicle you become part of it so you can move with it. I somehow exited without doing that, and then proceeded to be dragged along the desert floor at 300 miles per hour, resulting in a very hilarious impromptu session of Subway Surfers, as I dodged all sorts of rocks, railings, and cacti along the way, eventually ending up underneath the map. But I managed to get out, and the challenge was then to get up to the train and get in before it set off at 300 miles an hour again, so that I could undo this hell. But I managed it because I'm a gamer. Some other things, if the object you're holding is too big, it'll go over your crosshair in the middle of your screen, and it'll permanently display what you're holding in front of you at all times in big text. That's kind of a pain. Sometimes you can't fire your guns. I think sometimes pressing caps lock fixes that for some reason. It won't like bring your guns up. I put like an upgraded version of my gun on the roof of my car, and it turned it back into the very bare basic pistol. I took it back off and it was the very bare basic pistol, so that could do with some work. But apart from that, like, cool game, fucking awesome idea. Yeah, shout out to the dev, that's all this is. So fucking have a great day, and leave me the fuck alone. Au revoir.